real Ron Musgraves here, not the short imposter. Enjoy the episode of Outlaw Window Cleaning Radio, and remember, install that fiber.
Fix this. So this is Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, live on the Facebooks, and we're here to get scolded by our boss, our puppet master, Chris Lambrinides. So you guys get to see it live. This is a board meeting we're having here.
I want to say I'm a little upset my check wasn't as big as we talked about.
Yeah, Luke said he got
we're still calculating commissions.
Well, listen, Luke said that he got a Bentley, and I'm not. You know, I'm just saying. I'm not real happy about it.
I appreciate the free poll, but I think you need to kick in a little more.
Yeah.
We're on it. We're still calculating commissions. Doing some math.
Right.
Yeah.
So if no one is aware, we are here with Mr. WCR himself, Chris Lambrinides. And before we get going here, everyone's going to want to know this question. It's going to get asked 1,000 times. And I got to ask the tough question, so I'm going to ask it.
Yeah.
Who's the better looking brother, you or Alex?
Oh, definitely.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Definitely. Alex is stronger and funnier than me.
Right.
I'll take the looks.
Right. Does he always walk around with a gallon jug of water? Is that just like his thing?
Dude, constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
That seems to be his, like, every time I'm watching the Jersey Nation show there, he's always swilling on jugs of water all the time.
He's also in the bathroom all day. Constantly cycling through.
Cycling. So, I don't know. I mean, what's going on? What's going on in the world of Chris today? Long day?
Yeah, long day.
So
Standard day at WCR, got up early, headed in. Busy season's just about to pop off. It's almost here. You can feel it kind of building.
Right.
Typically, we're like a month behind you guys, when you're start making a little money, then it comes trickling to us.
Yeah.
And we can feel it kind of building around the country. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, as a supplier and a former window cleaner, take us through your day.
Like the whole day?
Give us to lunchtime. Let's go to lunchtime and see.
Let's go to lunchtime. What do you just like? What's the routine? Do you get up in the morning, work out? I mean,
yeah. I get up at like 4:30 every day. I get up, I work out, drink a bunch of coffee, write some stuff down, plan some stuff, try to stay off the computer, bring my kid to the bus stop, and then usually by like 7:30 I'm at work, process the money from the previous day, and then I'm kind of just mainly putting out fires all day. Like I do most of the marketing at WCR and the money and just general planning stuff.
My question is this: how much does supplying the tools? How much does that differ from selling tools to? I used to clean windows, run a window cleaning business. I mean, is there a lot of difference between your former role and now is it just the same role the whole time?
I essentially do the same stuff. It's just a totally different business,
Right, of course.
I do a lot of website related stuff. We just spent the past 2 years rolling out a new platform, windowcleaner.com, and that was just like a massive undertaking. We deployed like 7,000 SKUs and introduced this new inventory management system to coordinate with our stuff that we stock and stuff that we get drop shipped from manufacturers.
So does that to prevent like things from like showing up at your door 60 to 70 days later after you've bought them? Oh,
yes,
that's awesome.
Exactly.
I can dig that now.
It's our main mission to deliver.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but some companies should probably be selling meat because they say meat gets better with age. Because I've bought stuff that shows up like 3.5, 4 months later, shit's all green and moldy.
Right.
So yeah.
Man, you got an awesome shirt on there, Mark. Look at you.
That's my man.
Yeah, boy. You're my man. Me and Mark, we might have a slightly, not like full, but slightly homosexual relationship. Just kind of. Not a lot, but a little, you know.
When this podcast starts, I get a partial immediately. You know?
It's called a semi, sir.
Okay, well, it's a partial.
What's up, Luke? What's up, Henry? Carl Robinson's in the house. Richie Blue, Jersey Nation. Ryan Heisler. Bill Jordan. Everybody's on here, man. Nice. That's 13 people for an hour early. But listen, that's Luke the window cleaner numbers are not what we're worried about here. I mean, nobody's is, fucking guy.
Luke numbers are huge.
Luke disgusts me. Him and all his fans. No. Dude, I think that might be that's probably like the second or third most viewed podcast we've ever done is with Luke and them. We need to have Mark. We need to have Luke come on every day. We're going to replace Mark with Luke.
Yeah. So I want to ask a couple questions, Chris.
Go ahead.
You formerly owned a very successful window cleaning outfit, and what was the deciding factor that you decided I'm going to sell this business off and start selling equipment? Was there any one thing that happened? Were you just tired of the grind of running crews and washing windows, or what pushed you in that direction?
It definitely wasn't just one thing. It was like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like WCR started to really take off. I was focusing most of my energy there, and I was neglecting the window cleaning business. The window cleaning business was like on a massive upswing until I started WCR. Then it was like plateau, and it was just like doing what it was doing, you know?
Yeah.
And just got sick of it. And I started to love the supply business more. And there's just constant employee problems. You know how that is? Like everybody's got 2 problems in their life every week, and you have 20 people working. That's like 40 problems that become yours. Right. And squeegee rubber sitting on the shelf doesn't lie to your face. It doesn't come in late. Doesn't get high on lunch break.
Right.
Like, it just sits there and sells. You know.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
Like I thought it was an easier business. It turned out to be a much harder business, but that's a whole nother story.
Wow. I mean, I'd have thought there'd be this much drama in the window cleaning world at this point.
Well, as you can tell, I sold the business to Peter, and like if Peter wasn't interested in it, I might still have it. Like I really only sold it to Peter because I knew that he wouldn't fuck it up. Like I knew he would do it right because he just has that same high attention to detail that I do.
Yeah, I just recently, because Tim made me hip to it, Window Wars, I didn't even know that was a thing until Tim shared that link there to me. I just watched that. When did you share that link to me, Tim?
Days ago or something like that?
Like 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah. And, one thing I did notice is that there was a lot of Peter in that and not a lot of Chris. I didn't get my fix. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you came on tonight. I got my Chris fix.
Yeah.
It's one thing to get ordered around every morning. Me, Mark, and Tim, we don't mind you calling us up and giving us our daily marching orders. We don't mind that, but it's more. I like to see it too. It's cool.
Well, sometimes I just like to deploy the orders. Just text them on out to you guys.
So Chris,
right just kissing his ass right here on the podcast.
Right.
It's more money, Chris.
Chris, was your company at a point where you no longer washed windows, or were you still out in the field?
Oh, I checked out washing windows probably after like year 4.
Really?
I was kind of just in the office, and then by year 7, I was like just totally out of running the business. And
yeah.
That's when we started WCR. We were just bored. I didn't really know what to do all day. Like I became really obsessed with the E-Myth. I saw Michael Gerber, the E-Myth dude, at an IWCA convention. Yes. He had this like whole thing, like, just like build your business like McDonald's, set it up so you don't have to operate it. And like, I just took that to heart and did it. But then I didn't realize the implications of me becoming so bored, just like doing nothing all day.
It put you up for other avenues though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It brought you into something you could get interested in that you didn't know you were really interested in.
Totally.
Building a new company is always awesome. That's fun. Yeah. It's a challenge.
Well, you didn't clean windows for 4 years. You cleaned windows before. You're saying you cleaned windows for your business for 4 years and then stopped. You cleaned windows before your business, right?
For 30 days, and I got fired.
Oh, no shit. Are you serious?
Yeah. I've had like 50 or 60 jobs. I've gotten fired from every single one of them.
Yes. Okay. All right. I remember that you saying that in the. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That sounded familiar. No kidding. And then you're just like, screw it. I'm gonna start.
Yeah. Well, I did like a couple other like construction type things in between, but I liked the window cleaning job. It was just cool. You got to see awesome houses every day. You got to work outside in the sun. It was just a cool job. Right. And I really liked the aspect of it that there was like, there's no rules. There's no like, real structure to it. Like you could just do whatever you want, basically.
It's freedom. There's a lot of freedom. Yeah. But that's a good and a bad. You got to be self-motivated to get out there and do what you do. I mean, I once went to lunch with a business broker, and the first thing out of his mouth is, if you want your business to be saleable and successful, you need to put your bucket down. And I said, but you're a business broker. You don't deal with blue collar guys that half the time, like you said, Chris, over the weekend, you never know what you're going to get on Monday if they're going to show up. You've got to babysit them. Someone's always not showing up. Someone's always breaking something. Someone's always losing something. Someone's always talking back to a customer. And it's just so brutal and frustrating to build a business and then kind of pull yourself back and watch it start to crumble. And then you got to go back in and repair just to get back to where you were because you took it a little easier. And I think a lot of people, I know for a fact, TJ struggles with the fact that turning over the reins to employees. It's a very hard thing to do with basically unsupervised labor. Window cleaning, in my opinion, doesn't pay enough to pay guys to go around to make sure everybody else is doing their job. You can't make no money if you're not producing.
And right there, what you said, Mark, is the absolute problem. Like you cannot charge enough to pay people what they deserve for them to treat it like a real job.
Yes.
There's certain situations you can, but for the most part, that's the crux of the problem, what you just said.
Yeah, well, everybody, everybody's got accounts that are what we would consider a home run. I mean, I've had people say, well, that price seems kind of low. And I'm like, well, I don't got to hit a home run. I got to get on base, right. But the problem is, been speaking with a guy that has about 40, 50 employees. And he's telling me about, he's got route managers and he's got salesmen and he's got supervisors and everybody's got a title, and I'm like, so where you are compared to where I am. Okay, if you get $50 a cleaning and I get 30, but I'm going to make more on the 30 because I don't have a supervisor driving around looking at it. I don't have a salesman that might not be producing or he's out taking work that he shouldn't be taking. All that's 3 more vehicles, 3 more payrolls, 3 more sets of insurance. And I'm like, so if we're at even and mine's manageable, who wants that aggravation? Because, I've always said this, if you're an electrician, and you've got 10 guys, every time that guy goes out in the van to hang ceiling fans or put ballast in light assembly, you're charging $100, $125 an hour, flat rate, no matter what. Okay, window cleaning. Oh yeah, I made $800 on this job, but you might not be doing something tomorrow, or you know what I'm saying? And
this has been Short Story Long by
I'll shut up.
But I agree with you, Mark.
Mark always makes sense. He's like a woman. You know what I mean? He's always right.
I am.
I am.
The voice of reason on the show.
Yeah. Yes. He definitely reins us both in. All the time. If Josh was here, it would be even worse.
Josh doesn't show up much. What's up with that? Josh is just busy.
Josh is so busy. Josh owns 2 window cleaning businesses, a power washing business, and a hood cleaning business. He is buying shit up, dude. Yeah, he
shit. He picks up shit,
and he picks up turds. That's right. He's a shit picker upper too.
So how does he do the hood cleaning? Isn't that all night work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he manages it, dude. He just does it, man. Josh is a very determined individual. Yeah. One of the most determined people I know. He's hard-headed. And he's he really feels like he's the big show. Not, he really feels like, it's a big deal when he's on. Like, he's like the superstar of them all. He's like, yeah, I'll come on and grace you. He definitely loves himself.
I'll tell you what, I've seen those hood cleaning guys. I'd rather pump a septic tank than clean them hood. Oh, that is the nastiest, dirtiest job there is.
Nasty work.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, Josh is just a giant fucking douchebag, man. That's all he is. I say that because he's not standing here. I don't know if you've ever seen Joshua in person, but Josh is a very large person.
Yeah, he's a polar bear.
Yeah, he's a polar bear. Yeah,
but he was good enough to give you that video of him slipping in his driveway.
Yeah.
That was
dude, he's fair. Dude, he's so fair. He's like, he goes, I want you to do it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it'll be funny. I was like, well, because after I did, I was like, man, he's a really big guy. And I could piss him off, and maybe the next time he might swap me or something, you know? Yeah, yeah. I asked him, he's like, oh, no. He goes, that didn't take you very long. I think it was up maybe, how long was it up, guys? Maybe an hour, and I snatched it and did something instantly.
I look at it like this. Josh owes me money because I didn't do as much that day because I watched that video 1,000 times.
It was
Dude,
pretty
when his
funny.
kid came sliding out, if he would have taken his legs out, oh, my God. And then he walks back and he just goes, fuck or fucker. That's so funny.
Shaking that salt out afterwards was so good, so good. Do you?
Speaking of meeting in person, have you and Tim never met in person? Have I caught that? You guys are both in Ohio and you haven't met. How far away are you?
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
About 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Don't feel compelled to meet in the middle somewhere?
Tim's fucking super busy guy, man. I mean, he's got 78 kids and grandkids and all kind. I mean, Tim's got himself a baby factory going on over there. He's squirting them out, boy.
Nice.
How many do you have? You got grandkids and kids. How many?
I have 7 kids, and I'll have my 4th grandkid next month.
11.
Damn, Tim, you're busy.
Yeah, dude. So it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I my like Joey's my son, the one that works with me. So he's third from top. So he's 20 something. I mean, my oldest will be 26 this year. So.
And how old's the youngest?
He's 5.
5. Holy cow.
Well, I mean, it's 2. You get married young, you start a family, you have a family, you're doing the thing, get divorced. Met Leah. I was 27 when I met Leah. I already had 4 kids. You know what I mean?
Alex is watching. Alex is here, so what's up, Alex? He wanted to make sure you were representing properly. But, Alex, I will have you know that Chris said he's the better looking brother. You're just the stronger one. And you have a smaller bladder. And you like water.
Well, I think you pointed out that he liked water.
yeah, that's right. I brought up the water thing. Carl Robinson said you're the Waltons, Tim. You got a lot of kids. That's crazy. So, Chris, what do you do in your free time, man? Do you have any free time at all? I mean, do you have any hobbies, like something you got to make sure you do every once in a while?
Or is it just that's my hobby?
Work is your hobby, huh? Really?
Yeah.
No golf.
No golf.
No,
man,
you're just super. That silly shit.
You're just serious. Chris is serious business. He's like, listen.
Best drinking I've ever done.
one day a week, I like to do yard work. I like to just do something with my hands because, just doing computer work all day kind of sucks because you're just sort of always you're just always thinking in the future and in the past. So you know what I mean? Like when you're doing computer, you're just you're all over the place. It's like doing yard work or some kind of hand work at least once a week just to kind of do something that puts your mind in the now as opposed to future and past all the time.
Right. Keep you present.
I might blow some leaves this Saturday.
Just whatever. Yeah. Do you clean your own windows?
No.
What?
I hire Peter, man.
Whatever. Seriously? You're not telling the truth.
That's awesome.
Peter doesn't.
No,
Peter's company doesn't come and clean your windows.
Last year when the Phantom water-fed pole came out, I really wanted to try it, so I water-fed poled my windows. They came out all right, but once a year, Peter, has sent a crew to do it.
No kidding. No, that's cool. Nice.
When I sold Fear of the Business, part of the deal was I was supposed to get at-cost window cleaning. I don't know if that's still happening. It seems to have gone up, but
cost has gone up.
At-cost window cleaning. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
like saying 25% off of this coupon, and the coupon is given to you before you bid the job.
Yeah, my sister started the window cleaning business with me the first year I started it. She's still there with Peter, so I could check on the pricing for real.
So that was that was my next question. I was wanting to know if you had another brother or another sister, or is it just you, Alex, and your sister?
I'm the oldest. My sister's 3 years younger than me, and Alex is 3 years younger than her.
Okay. Well, so you learn new things every day.
Yeah, she's like Peter's grumpy bookkeeper.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
that's cool. So, man, I don't know, man. I'm running out of questions, dude.
Man, that was so fast.
Yeah, I know, man. This is the worst podcast we ever did.
I got a question for you. So, regrets. Do you have regrets leaving the challenges of the window cleaning and trading them out for challenges of sale of equipment?
Yeah, probably like once a month. I think like, oh, this is just too much stress. This is just too much happening. I definitely miss the days of just being able to hop in my pickup truck with a handful of tools and just work by myself. Like, that's really nice sometimes, you know? I miss that fairly frequently. But the other part of the business, dealing with the employees and stuff like that, I don't miss that one bit.
Wow. So, speaking of that, so when you used to clean windows, what was your go-to, man? What was on your hip or in your bucket?
Oh man, Pulex bucket, Unger Ergotech squeegee for residential was my favorite by far. Triumph scraper, and just like a little Stacone featherweight small one. Like I ran it really lean. I didn't carry a lot of gear.
Yeah.
When the dude that trained me how to clean storefront windows, we cleaned with like wooden mop handles. So
Right. Yeah.
once I like started my business and it was like, holy crap, they have a catalog with all these real tools in it. It blew my mind. Like,
Right.
Right.
could actually get a decent pole and not this broom handle.
The dude that showed me how to clean windows, he had wooden stacks. We had wooden stacks that we had to climb. Yeah, wooden stacks.
Yep.
And he would stick his T-bar in the bucket and get it wet, and then stick it in his back pocket, the handle part in his back pocket. Put his squeegee in his other back pocket and go up the ladder with a sponge and one blue towel, and he'd do the whole second floor in the time it would take me to do half the bottom every time. And he was 10 years older than I was. Just smoked me. That's
But he was
all
soaking
he would
wet
use.
all day, right?
Yeah, soaking wet all day like a wet dog. You know, it smelled like a wet dog too. He had the worst smelling feet. Randy, if you're watching, I'm sorry, brother, but your feet stunk, bro. But man, that dude could clean a window, and he was one of those dudes that I think is the reason why, as of yet, I haven't had a bad accident on a ladder or at height, because he scared me all the time. I was just like, dude, what are you doing? You know, I mean, I couldn't even watch him sometimes. She's like, dude, what you're doing right now is not safe, man. So I've always been overcautious because of that. You know what I mean? Because he just threw caution to the wind all the time. You know?
I came up on Henry holsters. So I only switched to a bucket on the belt back in 2014.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've always used Henry holsters.
I had Henry holster.
Yeah.
I don't
Always.
even know what that is, so that shows you I'm not as old as you dudes are. You old-ass dudes.
Almost.
Leather holsters, man. And your squeegees would form to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My old man used to go to a shoe guy, and they would take the sole of a boot, because most of those holsters, over time, they've gotten worse and thinner and turned into vinyl, and they would roll under when you put your squeegees in them. And he'd go to a shoemaker, and he would have them. They'd make it out of a sole from like the bottom of a boot, so it'd be real thick leather. And then the guy would rivet the squeegee holster on, and then he'd always used to take a piece of PVC pipe, like 1.5 inches, and wet it and cram it down in there till it always stayed open. And he lived for those things. You know, it was simple back in the day. They didn't have all this fancy stuff that we do now.
Right.
You know, sometimes the fancy stuff makes it a little bit irritating, but you know, I always like to go back.
What would Chris be doing if we didn't have all this fancy stuff, man?
Yeah, man, we live off the little knickknacks. People, you know, like a couple of hot new little products come out every year, and people always want to try them. You know how it is. Something new comes out, you want to check it out.
Alex says he drinks a lot of water. I drink a lot of water.
Much water.
Yeah, you drink a lot of water. So is there anything new? Like, is there anything cool and new coming out soon? I mean, you would know. You know, I mean, is there what's the hot item going to be this year?
Oh man, the hot item by far is going to be the Zero Gold Ultimate Pro Pole. But
I mean, I can't even see why
that
doesn't even sound like you're being, partial at all.
No, I just, it's the things I hear on the street.
Is that the word on the street?
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Are you guys going to really grow this Zero brand?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting pole. That's for sure. I can say that. I mean, it looks pretty nice.
Are we talking?
No. We're not. We're talking about. We're
this
talking
one?
about their gold water fed pole, the gold version of the Zero.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
No experience with that.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
Listen, we know. Tim.
Mormon's coming out with a couple new things so far. They're going to be coming out in the next couple of months, but for the most part, there's really not much new coming out.
I missed that. Who's coming out with something?
Mormon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That seems like that would make sense. They seem to be like they're into the pushing the envelope. You know what I mean? That seems to be like kind of the way they're running the ship over there. I could tell you, watching these dudes with those accelerators and shit, man, that's crazy. I actually want to get one and try it. I actually want to get one and try it just to see. I mean, for me, anyways, I don't know. I mean, I have to deal with a lot of quarry dust. There's a rock quarry and a lake. I'm in between. That's where my city is in between a rock quarry and a lake.
Yeah.
And it's
just
like
dust on everything.
There's dust and like living organisms on everything I touch. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's kind of hard to use cool tools like
Flintstones
that.
over here.
Yeah, shut up, man. Dude, I did a job yesterday. I'm going to be doing a Simpole video here soon. I got to finish editing it, but I had to scrub the whole first floor of this place with water fed. There was so much salt, road salt on the windows. There's nothing I could do. I had to water fed pull it and clean it by hand.
Yeah.
It was awful, man. Or I'd be changing my water constantly. I'm just getting out the water fed pole. I use the Alpha brush. Shameless plug.
I wouldn't even run it through a purifier, dude. I'd put the brush right into the garden hose.
That's what I did. I bypassed my Bologna.
Spray some soap on that, scrub it in, rinse it down, and then wash it. I've done that before.
Listen, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah. That's why it's good when you got a pressure cleaner. You're doing pressure cleaning and windows. I blow the crap out of the windows first.
It's even better.
Do
you have any off-road vehicles, Alex? Like, do you have a four-wheeler? Well, I mean, a bike?
Nah, he's a Bentley guy.
No?
Alex had a quad the whole time we were growing up. He always rode one.
Did it have a snorkel on it, though? Did it have a snorkel, though? Because all of Mark's bikes have snorkels, because that's the thing.
Dude, you come ride with me, you'll see why you need a snorkel.
I'm never coming down there, dude. That looks way too much like Deliverance down there, dude.
There ain't no way I'm coming down there to do that. Can you imagine?
So everyone wants to know, do you believe in Bigfoot? I'm just going to ask you because that's been asked quite a bit in the comments. Do you believe it?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
the world is yeah, totally, maybe, dude. By default, I default to believing all conspiracy theories. I don't believe in anything.
You're my kind of guy, then, for sure.
Yeah, totally. And that's how I actually started watching your show, because I flicked it on one day back in June or something, and you were talking about something like that. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I'm a goofball. I'm a
but anyway,
goofy guy.
like the Pacific Northwest, there's so much unexplored territory up there. It kind of makes sense there'd be something like that. Like, I think that James Patterson video is total BS, or not James Patterson, but it's Patterson something.
The Patterson footage.
Yeah, that's
the Patterson Gimli footage. Is that what it is?
That's the one where the dude's like.
And listen, I can't believe it. I want to turn this off now. You don't think that's real? They had the scientists do the thing, and it showed that it had a butt cheek and a boob. Ain't you seen that? Come on, man.
No,
not even. Flat Earth is off the table, man, because that's total bullshit. That's off the table. That's not real. That's like some Flat Earth is like a millennials thing. Like, my brother believes in Flat Earth probably because he's just one of those kids. You know what I mean, right? Joey probably believes in Flat Earth. Does Joey believe in the Flat Earth, Tim?
No.
Now, you want my theory on Bigfoot? I'll tell you this: the reason why there's no bodies is because they drive UFOs. That's why. That's it, dude. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's one or two things. They're either interdimensional beings, and they die in their plane, and that's why there's no bodies. And plane, I don't mean by in the air. I'm talking like witchcraft type planes. Or they drive spaceships and they get sucked back into it. You know what I mean? Their buddies pick the bodies up. That's what I think.
Not more than one, and they're not.
I can't get down with that theory, man. A body will decompose in the woods like that.
Right.
Like, you see a dead bear or something. What's it's gone in like?
Well, and then other animals are going to scavenge on it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what? So, it sounds more like you believe in Bigfoot than you don't, because I think you're just not afraid to. You're afraid to admit it.
Oh no! I'm not afraid to admit it. I believe in everything. I believe
people are still going to buy squeegee rubbers if you believe in Bigfoot, Chris.
I'm on the fence about Bigfoot.
What about Jersey Devil?
Yeah, what about the Jersey Devil before?
No, Richie keeps hitting me up about the Jersey Devil. Trying to tell him, like, I'm from Northern Jersey. Jersey Devil's only from Southern Jersey. I just watched the X-Files episode like 2 weeks ago about the Jersey Devil. And it was just like this lady that grew up in the woods, really. And I know Jersey Devil.
Listen, what makes us all laugh about that is because everyone sitting here has gotten a link from Richie about the Jersey Devil. You got to talk about the Jersey Devil, man. That's so good. That's super good. That's CGI, bro. If we're gonna talk about JRE, that's the flat Earth is CGI, bro. CGI, and the famous words of Eddie Bravo. That's CGI, bro.
Yeah,
that's my man.
Eddie Bravo's wild. Did you see the 5-hour episode with Alex Jones and Eddie Bravo? And
that might have been the best thing I ever seen. To be honest with you,
so good.
As soon as I seen the notification come up on my phone that it was live, I was like, I gotta watch some of this. Dude, Alex Jones is out of control, man. Black helicopters and diamond gusset jeans. That dude is out of control, man.
It's so impressive on that show how he just hops and weaves from one topic to the next.
Yes.
And he's boom, 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 just hitting you with the most ridiculous stuff. But there's a lot of truth, in there. So, some of it's quasi.
That's because interdimensional child molesting vampires from outer space are in control of the government. I've got proof. It's verified facts.
The government really a super DMT space program.
Yeah,
and traveling interdimensionally, but they're not leaving the Earth.
Right,
craziness.
Yeah, he's out of control, man. And what's good about it is Eddie Bravo just kept needling him. He just went deeper and deeper and deeper. It's great, man. It's a good podcast. That's actually what got me into wanting to do a podcast, is listening to podcasts. I'm like, man, this is just stuff me and my buddies talk about. We should just do it on. We should just do our own, you know what I mean? And then I talked to Tim and Josh, and they abandoned me, and then Mark saved the day. And then Tim was like, man, Mark's cool. I'm going to go hang out with Mark, but TJ's a dick. But it'll be okay. You know what I mean? And what I'm getting to is you and your brother used to have a podcast too, right? Like way back in the day, right? You had to pull it all down for legal issues.
36 episodes only.
And everyone, because you guys were really bad. You guys were setting things on fire. You know what I mean? Running through walls. I heard it was really bad. We were the
second YouTube channel for window cleaners out there.
No kidding.
Yeah, we were the second. There was this guy, Don the Window Cleaner, that was before us. And there was this show called Dig Nation, where these two dudes just sat on a couch and talked about stuff. And we were like, yeah, let's do that same thing. And we just sat there with our laptops and talked about posts on the forum. And we just talked shit and, gave our honest opinions on stuff.
Oh,
and
no. All right, yeah. The WCR forum? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Quickly it caused problems. I could see where I could definitely get where you're coming from with that, because we kind of did the same thing. And then afterwards, we would privately, me, Josh, and Tim would be like, dude, what the fuck are we doing, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why you got to have at least, 3 of us on here. And then it's always good when there's a guest, because, look, like we've all said, how many times are you going to talk about window cleaning? I mean, how much is there that we haven't already covered, 20 times? And, just another video or another tool or another review. It's just better to hang out and just shoot the shit and, just go through whatever comes to mind.
Right.
Yeah, there's only so much just straight window cleaning you could talk about.
Oh, dude.
It's all been done.
It's all been done. It's all been talked about. I mean, we get questions. I like to ask questions of guys, do you have any questions? You know what I mean? And then they'll ask them. I mean, because every now and then you might have a technical question that you may not know nothing about or ain't heard about before. You know what I mean? Because Mark knows everything. He's the smartest man in window cleaning.
I'm so smart. I'm still doing it. How smart is that?
Yeah, Mr. Tate Mr. Tate anointed Mark as the smartest man in window cleaning. He's technically the smartest and richest man in window cleaning, in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. He's got so much money. He rolls around.
You know what? I'll tell you a funny story. When my old man, Fish was one of the first franchises to come around, and my old man was very, very, very old school. And he said to me one day, he says, look at this shit. He goes, $50,000 to buy a territory, and it doesn't come with anything except for training and whatever stores they have nationally in your area, and you can only work in a certain area. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of think where I come from, for 50 grand, you get $7,000 a month worth of revenue after 30 days, right? And he goes, who the hell would buy it? And we started looking into it. I'm like, but people are buying it. It's guys getting out of the corporate world and wanting something that's somewhat turnkey, And he said to me, he was so old school. He's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I go, here's the dumbest thing. Me and you are still carrying buckets, and someone's sitting in an office somewhere and pointing the finger and collecting money,
right.
So,
yeah.
And now, man, there's what, 7, 8, 10 franchise.
Chris is like, why you salt my game for? That's what I do, dude. I cash checks and point my finger. What's wrong with that? Sounds like Mark's a hater. That's what it sounds like.
I'm not a hater.
It sounds like a little bit there. You're throwing a little bit of shade indirectly there, I think. You're trying to act like you're not, but you are.
No,
is it because
all day.
How tall are you, Chris?
6'2".
Way taller than Mark.
Yep. Taller than you, T.
Whatever, I'm 5'11" and 3/4, dude.
5'11", standing on a phone book.
Man, those
Whatever,
franchises, they have so much turnover. Those things are coming and going constantly. We competed against 4 different ones here, and they're constantly rotating in and out. And there's just all like corporate guys, like Mark said. They just get out of the corporate world, want something turnkey, and then realize like, whoa, this is hard.
Yeah. They all get working and realize, I can't do this.
Where'd you get that out of? The Cracker Jack bag? It's my ring spar in my nose.
It's my CPAP. I need a CPAP.
I hope a booger flies out. Hey,
they even fall
you better glue that back in. What I like is that it matches my shirt. It matches Chris's shirt too.
Totally.
Got that green.
Green is sexy, man.
So how is the market in window cleaning? You obviously built a very successful business in relatively a short amount of time. You did a lot of marketing, a lot of banging on doors, or what made you so successful in the window cleaning business?
Man, I lucked out because this area, it's like this real like super sweet spot in the country. Like we're 45 minutes outside of Manhattan. There's a ton of disposable income. People live up here in the woods that work in the city. There's just like a lot of money around here,
Yeah.
So it's like the combination of a really good market and me sort of being interested in marketing, and really it was pretty much all based on direct mail, like just over 1 million pieces a year.
You must be good at it. I mean, you're just being honest.
1 million pieces of mail a year. Wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of direct mail. It started with flyers, and then I just needed quicker ways to distribute this.
What was the turnover on? What was the callback rate on that? I mean, what was the close rate on 1 million mailers?
Less than 1%, just a very tiny amount.
Man,
but it was enough to make it pay for it.
Right? Yeah, that's so crazy.
If I was doing it now, I would do all Facebook ads, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because everyone's on Facebook, you know what I mean? Everyone gets their news, right or wrong. Some guy, another window cleaner dude, shared this meme, and then I went to go share it, and then Facebook said, this meme's not real, don't share it. You know what I mean? What it's telling you is Facebook checked me, and they was like, listen, this meme about this guy, go to here, and it'll show you that this never happened. It was a political post, but it was stopping me from sharing it, which is
that'll be the downfall of Facebook eventually.
Yeah, because nobody likes commies.
It's corporate agenda.
Yeah, it is.
What happens if they break them up? That's just stupid. Are they that big? I mean, really?
Right, it's just a meme, anyways. You know what I mean?
But that's what we're coming to.
It's just a meme. It's just funny. You know what I mean? That's all it is. What the? Come on, man. We ain't allowed to have no free speeches.
But it all leads back to them trying to shut down Trump from 2020. So they're just weeding that stuff out way in advance. That's what it all comes down to.
Right.
So hey, Tim, what are you gonna do when all them young kids are able to vote? You know how much voter registration you all got to go sign up for with all them? We're gonna get 7-year-olds to vote next year. Holy shit! Oh my God.
Now it's reparations. They lost the black vote for Trump.
Yeah.
They did. They lost it. Now, let's bring up reparations. They're going to try to gain it that way. Like, it's just crazy the things that come up with it.
I don't even like talking politics because politics is fucking crazy. None of it makes sense. It changes so much. The Democratic Party is not what it was when I was a kid, and the Republican Party is not what it was when I was a kid. Everything is so different.
Trump's a liberal from the 90s.
Trump is,
dude.
Dude. He's
a
old school Democrat. I mean, he donated to all those parties.
We have a real Democrat in office right now.
Yeah.
That's what the world doesn't understand. And that the left
maybe I think you may be like semi right with saying that. He just listen. I mean, he just says too much, man. He just like has no filter, man. That's the dude's downfall. Yeah. It's all or nothing.
Yep.
It's all or nothing. It's like, it just pow. That's all. Everything he does, like every speech, every Twitter post, whatever he's doing is just a pow. That's everything. He don't care.
What other president would come out and say fake news? That's all he said.
Fake news. Oh, God.
Who's going to call out the media?
Social media has done quite a bit for window cleaning, don't you think? I think, with the YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, I mean,
someone's knocking at my door. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you'll be fine. But, in my personal opinion, I think it's kind of changed the way everybody does everything social media. You know what I mean? Don't you guys think that? I mean, that's what I think.
I don't know. There's a lot of where I am. There's a lot of old school window cleaners that won't subscribe to any of it. I mean,
well, I don't even mean in that sense. I mean, like in the sense that like people like the three of us right here and Chris. I mean, we probably wouldn't be interacting with each other if it wasn't for.
Well, yes, and
I probably wouldn't even know you.
Yeah, this is what's changed. My kids have friends. Like my younger one does karate, right? So I see him joking around and playing with these kids his age, and I'm like, hey, do you want to go hang out with so and so? And he's like, oh, I already do. I go, what do you mean you do? Well, we play Xbox together. And I'm like, the days of me riding my bike to your house so we could go, get in trouble in the neighborhood are no more. It's all about the electronics and everything.
But think about back in the day when we were coming up in window cleaning. It was got a catalog. You got catalogs for window cleaning. Window cleaning magazine, and none of your local guys rarely talk to you. You didn't talk to your local guys.
I actually seen.
So you didn't. Now we can talk to window cleaners in Iraq. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a huge difference compared to now.
You bringing up the local guys. You don't talk to locals. I actually seen one of my competitors today, and I gave him the Squeegee Life Gunslinger. Because he didn't. He's like, he's not hip to none of that stuff. You know,
you hate him that much?
Yeah, so.
But what
I sprayed the
Life Gunslinger and a new pair of shoes.
I sprayed the inside of it with Flex Seal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the Flex Seal came from. T Squeegee. That was my fix for it. I'm like, this thing fucking leaks, bro. I'm spraying it with Flex Seal. I figure if you can row in a rowboat with a screen door on the bottom of it, you should be good, right? I mean, all you gotta do is paint it on, bro.
I'll tell you what, the tape is amazing.
It's legit. That tape is legit.
Whatever you stick it on, you better get it straight the first shot because it does not come off. Oh my God.
That's it. You're done. You're going to have to bring out a blowtorch and a sandblaster.
Badass.
Yeah.
So
hey, we got a comment that says window cleaners marketing blueprint equals pure gold. So was that how you brought up All County? Was how the examples in that book or the book? The blueprint?
Yeah, pretty much. That book just lays out like my entire marketing plan, like how I did it, and it's just essentially it's like 250 marketing techniques for your window cleaning business. You can read it for free online, windowcleaner.com/marketing blueprint. Some people buy a hard copy. You can get it.
I mean, what's up? How much for an autographed copy? You know,
I don't do that. It makes me feel too weird.
So Chris, when you started the window cleaning business, did you plan for it to be as big as it was, or it just kind of organically took off and went that direction?
When I first started doing it, I was just jerking around, killing time, and then probably like 6 months into it, I was like, man, there is a lot of money in this area, and I'm never going to go to a job and put a suit on every day, and I know I'm unemployable, so let's try something out here.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, to be honest with you, man, just from, you saying that and then speaking to that, my competitor this morning and hooking him up with a fixed gunslinger, window cleaning kind of attracts that kind of soul. You know what I mean? If you think about it, it's just kind of that free spirit. You know what I mean? You don't, whether Mark would like to admit it or not, he's a free spirit. You know what I mean? We're all free spirits. It just kind of attracts that. It's kind of, because I don't like to be told what to do. That really irritates me. Like the one guy up above you, he's always like, working construction, there's always the guy that tells you what to do. You know what I mean? I almost got to the guy that tells everybody what to do, but I just had enough. I was like, this is it. I can't do it no more. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, so you always look at, as an owner, you look at it different light, because the people that work for you are in the same predicament you were when you did construction. Like when I bring a new employee in, I have to brief them. I told this story before. I had a young kid come to me from a residential company, and he said to me, I'm the fastest window cleaner Central Window Cleaning has. And I said to him, the first thing you need to do is forget that, because if you come out with that chip on your shoulder, I go, you're a residential guy, we're a storefront and high-rise company. So the first thing you need to do is just shut your mouth, because if you go out to challenge any of these guys that have been working with me for over 10 years, they're going to eat your lunch. Okay? And it was a lot of hurdles. And I've seen guys come in, and then these, the guys that have been here for 10 years or even 5 years, they feel threatened, just like you or I would, and we're looking at it from a different vantage point. But they bring some new young kid in that might be pretty good. There's going to be personality conflict, and that's the hardest thing to deal with is the retention of decent, really good employees. Because let's be real, you're not getting on the Forbes list working for a window cleaning company.
Right.
You'll always, my father used to say, you never be really rich from this, but you'll always make a living and you'll always have work, and that's kind of where it's gone for me, and I've always dabbled in going to the next level, and then something will come up that I'm like, fuck this, I don't need the aggravation. Is it really worth it?
Right.
I mean, I love window cleaning companies that have themselves one full-time, the owner and an employee. I think that's so streamlined and so profitable, okay, that it's almost a template,
Yeah.
I just had
you're done talking already? Wow.
Yeah.
We had a local company that actually followed the blueprint, and he built it up. I was probably in pest to him for a couple of years since I was building, but he built it up to the point that he sold it and moved to another area. So I mean, he got a good chunk of change, and now he's in a whole nother area building a company, So, I mean, it works.
He got a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
I actually have a question for you, Chris. Why zero? Why zero? Where did all that come from? Why
that
did
name?
Screw it? Yeah, zero, the polls. Why did you decide to do that? What made you decide to zero? This is what I'm going to do.
Well, are you talking about the name, or why Creator Online?
Yeah, why create your own line?
Let's do both.
All right. Well, the name
or both.
I don't know. The name I just thought of 7 years ago. I was making some kind of pump box or something, and I just needed a name for it. I registered the web URL, so it just stuck. And why our own line? Because of the internet. The internet is going to eat everything. It is eating everything. All our manufacturers that we work with will become distributors. It's inevitable. And all the distributors we work with and compete against will become manufacturers. It's inevitable. So if I don't start now working on my own brand within a brand, 10 years from now, when they are all just selling direct, then what?
Right. What do you do then? Yeah.
Yeah. Take Unger, for example. Unger Global USA, their website is built on the same exact platform as our platform. In 30 seconds, they could flick a switch and say, buy here instead of buy there. That could happen. And it's just kind of hedging my bets. And I went into this year thinking we're going to focus 40% of our efforts on our in-house brand, and we'll make it awesome. We'll make really good stuff. because, being in the trenches with window cleaners every day, like in the Facebook groups and on our forum, I talk to a lot of window cleaners, like thousands, and like I know what people
want.
Want
the carbon fiber trap pull. I mean, come on with it, man.
Come on with it.
Come on with it. You know what I mean? So that right there, I know we talked about that a bunch. We talked about that 9 months. Yeah. A year ago, we were talking about that. You know what I mean? That's.
Yeah.
Are you gonna move yourself into any traditional tools or anything like that, squeegees, or have you already gone there? Or like whatever?
Yeah, probably not, because all that stuff, like, there's not much you can improve, right. And all that stuff requires like a whole bunch of intricate molds, and people that come out.
Everyone is so picky too. Once you get on something, that's it. This is all I can use. I can't use nothing else. You know what I mean? And it's like the newer generation of window cleaners, like pick up a Mormon, like Jeremy, the guy that worked for me last year, couldn't use a regular squeegee, but he's busting ass with that liquidator. I'm like, geez, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first thing he touched, and he just mastered it.
In 10 years, that'll make Mormons successful with the squeegee rubber resells. You know what I mean? Right. Because a lot of these guys hook, and they'll just continue selling these squeegee rubbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you have a squeegee handle, man, that could last you 25 years. Right. Like a sorbo handle could last you for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people that come out with new products in the window cleaning industry, they think they're going to be rich, but do you realize you need to sell like 500,000 of those squeegee handles to make your mold feedback and to like any traction? It's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Water fed is a little bit easier because it's new. People are willing to spend money on it. I know a lot about it. Alex knows a lot about it, so we can just kind of like do the right things quickly.
And let's be honest, the most of the blanks, we'll call them the tubes, they're all made in a couple different factories. Exactly. Okay. And you don't have to, you say, this is the dimensions, these are the specs, can you build it? Are you currently building it? Who else is using it? What do we need to do to make it ours? And it's turnkey. You're not spending thousands of dollars on molds and everything else. You're basically, you're not redesigning it. And like you said, a squeegee handle, I don't remember the last time I broke one. You'll replace it because you lose it before you wear it out or break it, if you take care of your stuff.
Yeah. With poles, like Alex and I talk about it all the time. The tubes are a commodity. I could buy the same tubes from any 10 different places.
Yeah.
It took us a little while to
right there, Tim.
refine it.
Yeah, keep going, Chris. Look at that comment I just. Thomas Campbell said, "What's up, guys? James Riley here. Unblock me." What's up? He said, "What's up, Chris?"
What's up, James?
I want to talk more about these tubes because I'm gonna wait until I see Phil show up, and he's probably gonna burst a hemorrhoid. So let's keep going about talking about
our tubes and MSI and Sim 227.
Oh my God.
Dude, I love next. Phil. He's next level. I tell you what. Right now, I'm gonna say this before anyone says anything else. The Sim pole is pretty gangster. It's pretty nice. He put that together pretty good. I wish I had a couple more sections for it because the 6 is too short. I need an 8-section mini pole. Like that's what I need. Like 7-8 sections. That's what I need. So
that 6 is only like 21 feet.
Yeah, it's not. I was all like this over my head with that shit yesterday.
Yeah, that 21 footer, that 6 section. That's like a connoisseur's pole. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so nice. Like, I don't love the clamps; they're pretty good, but it's super nice. Like
I leaned up against it. Yeah, I set the pole down against the wall and grabbed it and was leaning on. I weighed about 243, and I'm leaning, and it barely any give. When I pressed down on it against the brick wall, I mean, it's stiff and light as shit. It's really cool, but it's too short. It's just too short.
It needs to be taller. The high modulus combined with the Kevlar, and then you put the clamp with the leather, and then you have
Phil, hey, I'll tell you this: the dude's a sweetheart. He just needs to rein it in. If he'd rein it in, man, I think he wouldn't turn as many people off, and people probably be more hip to what he's doing. He's just next level, dude. He is next level. I love him. He's just next level, dude.
Yeah. He's the Chris Farley of window cleaning poles. Yeah.
No, he's the Rain Man of window cleaning poles. That's what he is. He's definitely Ray.
Me and Phil have been in and out of working together for 11 years. Like 11, we were the first people to carry his pole. Now we're the last people to carry his pole, and Nat's hanging on by a thread because he's, a little. Like, I love him. I think he's got a heart of gold. He's just nuts. Yes. I love you, Phil. He's a super nice guy. He knows this. I tell him he's nuts all the time, but
I always give him shit too, and he's like, you know what? And after you tell him that, I know he'll be like, yeah, you're right. I know. He goes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right, but then tomorrow morning it's back to the same old thing.
No, it usually takes a couple of days. He got me.
I told you there's benefit to living under power lines.
He's like, everybody's got a small pole now. I was like, you realize that people are going to see an idea and, they're like, oh, well, I could do that and maybe I could do it better. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, dude. It's a short pole. It's not like come on, dude. And it's too short. Just happens to be a little short. Innovation. It's called innovation. Things happen, man. He's a good dude, though. I really like the simple. I know Jason Lehman uses it and
bangs the shit out of it.
He beats the shit out of it. I don't know if anyone sees Jason's videos on YouTube or on Facebook, but good Lord, sir, he's extra hard on his stuff, but.
Seems like it.
He's got some break it stuff too that that's Jason's line is the break it. He's got the break it series from Cheap It. Tim's got to change a diaper or something or cook dinner for 6 people.
No. His 11th child just came in.
So, what's different about the Zero pole? I mean, we might as well give you a little opportunity here to say, everyone else has come on and, tried to sell us their wares. What's cool about your pole? Why is your pole so much nicer than everyone else's, Chris?
So listen, I represent 250 different brands within the window cleaning and pressure washing industry. I'm not saying my pole is better or worse than any of the ones out there. I think it's pretty cool because, it's under my control and I can do whatever I want with it. We can make it to our exact specs. And this year I feel like we've built the product line out. So there's something for everybody. We got 3 short poles, residential poles, and then we got 3 Pro Series poles that can go up to like 70 feet. Not that we really, recommend cleaning windows at 70 feet because you know how that is. Right. And we got the trad pole and we diversified it so there's something for everyone. There's a super price point one. There's a middle of the road one, like an employee tough model. And then there's like a gold, ultra super light in, owner operator type model. And there's no middleman. We work directly with the factory. So by far, our pole line is the most affordable carbon fiber pole line in the United States. There's nothing cheaper than it. And it's built around like our 10 years of experience of selling them, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't.
Well,
before you say anything, you have extensions for the mini poles and the large poles. Are they all the same kind of, like, let's say...
It's all interchangeable. It all goes together. So like that micro... Okay. So the trad pole, if you came back, you could buy 6 sections and then make that a micro pole. And then you can get EXT sections and bring that up to 40 or 50 feet, and they can swap and interchange between the other sections. It's all interchangeable.
How long are the EXT the extension, the sections? How more the add-ons? How long are those?
5 feet collapsed, 10 feet extended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Nice. I didn't realize that. Oh, see, I like that because I like to put my pole in my toolbox. I have to put my pole in the bed of my truck, guys. Because it's that big. I'm just saying it's short.
What do you got? One of those diamond plate side boxes?
No, I got one that runs across the bed, the back bed of my, the cab box is what I got. I guess that's what you'd call it. It straddles the cab, across. And that's where I keep my poles. I keep everything in there because people got sticky fingers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I like to keep everything in there.
Yeah. Well, you could see that that's no broom handle. So guys. It's more enticing to grow legs. But I have a question because I love that trad pole that you sent me, and I appreciate it, and I thank you again. And I've got to say, because TJ can I asked for one of these a year ago, and I was told too expensive, can't be done, it's a waste of time. Take the top of your pole off of your water-fed pole. Well, I think most people will agree if I'm going to spend $1,000 to $2,000 on a water-fed pole, the last thing I'm going to do is take the top 2 or 3 sections out and do a $20 cleaning storefront with it. It just
nobody's
makes
gonna
no
nobody's gonna Jason Lehman their pole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to buy a couple of those from you. I don't know if they're back in stock. I have 2 comments on it. One, I know you guys were working on a different adapter tip for the top, which is important. I ended up putting an Unger gold pole tip slid right in and clamped, but it's got a little bit of a flex, and I like my tools very rigid. And 2, why no
harder than a cat can scratch, right?
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely fully extended. The thing does not bow. I love it. But section number 2, can we get a plastic cap or a metal ring in the bottom of number 2?
Yeah.
Because that's for some reason the only section that doesn't have a we're not going to call them end defenders. You know,
we're not going to do that. We refuse.
Yeah.
Well,
someone else calls them that. We don't want to do that. No,
but we don't want to do that.
Is it possible to get?
Yeah. Let me tell you why there's not one there. So,
okay.
I didn't when we first came out with the trad pole. I didn't want to just come out with the trad pole because I didn't think anybody would buy it. I thought I would just send a few of them to my friends and it would be kind of a fun thing. So I made it in a way that trad pole is actually really just the first 3 sections of the micro. The micro is a 9-section pole.
Okay.
And I put an end protector in every other section. So there's 5 of those in there. And I didn't put one in every section just to cut down on the overall weight. But if that's something that's desired, it's very easy to put another one.
This is the one thing I did notice, though, and and not for anything, because if you do just pull the 3rd section off, but the overlapping section, the second section is actually shorter than the first section. So that end, if you're just using that end, just the 2 pieces, you don't have to worry about it if it's collapsed. But once you open it up, maybe you might have a problem. You know what I mean?
You're saying that the second section is shorter than the first?
Yeah, about. That's
to accommodate because the end protector goes in a full inch.
Yeah.
So it has to be.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about it if you're not using, if you're not extending it. But Mark is like, Mark wants. I agree with him though. It would be cool if there was an end offender there too.
Well, here's the thing.
Just on the trad pole.
I put a grip on the pole, and a bicycle silicone handle grip fits on the 3rd section nicely. It's kind of loose on the 2nd section, but I like to be able to, have that extra length. I've gotten used to the length of the pole because, as I've said, it saved me a lot of time with it. But it would be nice to have that, whether it's plastic or whatever stuck in.
Mark would be the one to tell you about the extra length.
Rubber pieces.
Okay. Yeah.
Mark would be the guy. Mark would be the guy that would be like, this pole at length is the greatest. I mean, he's like 5 feet tall. So when you sent him a 12-foot pole, he was like, man, finally my dreams have been answered.
I feel like I'm using an 8-footer.
He doesn't have to use a step ladder to use the collar. You know what I mean?
Dude, let me tell you something. That thing showed up on my porch unannounced. I got home from work. My UPS comes around 5, 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I open it up and I'm like, oh my God. I was ready to go back to work. That's how much I wanted to use that thing. I was like, I'm going to clean windows. It's badass.
Look at me. Look at me. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, next week they start shipping with the Acme threads on all of them. And we're now shipping them all with rubber end protectors on the bottom that are removable by force if then you want to use that as part of a water-fed pole.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smart.
Nice. No, that's a game changer for me, man. I was a Garlac pole guy for the longest time, and when they get older and if they get a dent in them or they get an issue, a lock issue, when I started, Garlac poles were like $30-$35. Now they're $65-$70 for them, and the lifespan is limited with them. They're nice when they're brand new. I know TJ bought that California Dreamin' pole, and I bought 2 of them because of the OCD I have, and both of them, the tip snapped, and one of the collars locked up, and I couldn't open it anymore. And it was a great idea. It was heavy, but it just...
I like the rigidity of it. It was a little bit heavier, but
Yeah.
I had to put the bear jaws on the clamp to get it to stick. And I do a lot of twisty turny stuff with my pole, and I like it, and I've had not any issues with the clamps. On the zero trad pole, no issues. Once I set the clamp, it's good. There's no spinning, and it's pretty nice. Do you have to pee, Chris?
No, not yet. Probably soon though.
Well, you said to check. No,
I'll just get up. It's cool.
I'll just get up and leave. Tech question: How do I get a rinse bar to work well? I've tried different pumps, accumulator tank, etc., and I could never seem to get them to work like I think they should. What's like Kevin, and that's from Kevin Hargis. Are you because I'm about to put out a sim pole video here in a couple of days, and with the pump I have it on 400 feet of tube I got from somewhere else, with the 18-inch rinse bar, I've got an IPC electric hydro cart, which Chris sold me all the parts to fix, but dude, the water shoots out that bitch. I'm like shooting big old streams and stuff. I don't know what kind of pumps. Mine runs constantly though. Now, Mark, I notice yours comes on, comes off. You've got a really good flow. So maybe you could help him out with that.
I've got an accumulator on the system. I would say it might not be an issue of pressure. It might be an issue of volume. So if you increase your hose diameter, you're going to get that volume, and you're going to get more of the cascade. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. There was no engineering in what I built. It was just throw it together and let's see how it works. And surprisingly, it worked.
Well, don't you go, Mark? Don't you go from? Don't you have like a main line to a smaller, thinner line on your pole?
Yeah. It's 3/8 air hose, which I got from you guys, and then 200 feet of that, and then it goes into your traditional 5/16 or whatever the thin stuff is. And I have the pump set 2-cycle because running all the time is wearing on a battery, because I run a battery, though I can go 50 hours before I need to charge it. But I do believe if you have a flow issue, it's a matter of opening up the lines. If you're running 1/8-inch line, unless it's just a DI single tank, you're not going to get that pressure. You've got a pump probably building 100 psi, and you're probably running through 3/8 and then into your small tube.
No, so I'm just running straight small tube.
Completely.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah. And how much
that
small
motherfucker pumps like a
200 feet? Boy. Yeah, but imagine what would happen if you opened it up. It's like a sprinkler system. When you build a sprinkler system in your yard, it starts at 3-inch, and the last head might be down to 1/2 inch, and that's to maintain.
Well, it runs better. It runs better when I go 3/8 to the smaller hose, of course. It definitely runs better. But I don't have no issues, is what I'm saying. I'm not having no issues. That hydro cart's
got to have some form of bypass system.
It does. It's got a constant drain on it. Yeah. It just goes,
How awesome are those hydro carts?
I love it.
Dude, it's been, that hydro cart is from 2005, I think, and it's still rocking and rolling, man, on original parts.
Built it right, man. Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, so I had to bypass the hose reel. It used to have a fitting on it where you'd just roll the hose off and you didn't have to connect nothing. Everything was built into the reel, but the reel's just gotten so bad it just leaks everywhere. And I'm on the fence about making something. I'm on the fence about making a skid for the back of my truck to where my water-fed pole equipment, my pure water system, the delivery system, all of that, and a pressure washer all on one. I just slide it in the truck, slide it out. That's what I'm wanting to do. So I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to buy a new hydro cart or if I'm just going to Frankenstein this one out here and do that. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But the one thing I'm concerned about is if I ever have to, some jobs you got to get the water-fed pole cart real close. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of
that Mark built. That thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I'm going to build 5 more. So I'll probably send them to you and then sell them out. Because I want another one for myself. I want another one for myself. So if I'm going to make several more, I can cookie cutter them.
I definitely want one.
Cut all the pieces,
I definitely want. I want to go in on that with that. I would also like to have
like
one.
I've said, I've run about 18,000 gallons of water through it, and I've not had a leak, not an issue. I mean, it's holding up nice. But the only thing I had a problem with my IPC hydrocard is where the hose comes and loops from, I guess it's from the sediment filter down, and then comes back up. That the factory hose got a kink in it. Okay, so it was constantly restricting. I just took it up to, a hydraulic line place, took off that hose and said, make me something with a more rigid hose, and they made it like 6 inches longer, so it has more of a loop, so it doesn't collapse. Other than that, those things are bulletproof, man. I mean, and there's a lot of new stuff coming out, but that's still my go-to. I love it.
Yeah, Kevin, IPC is a $1 billion company. Like they make legit equipment. Like when you go to the airport and you see one of those like floor machine scrubbers running around, that's an IPC unit. They just build legit equipment. That's why we haven't built our Zero Pures, because they just do it right. There's no problems.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Dude, that hydrocard is a tank, man. What I need to do is feature it in a video, just like me, like with the My Buddy music, because it's really my buddy. My buddy, my buddy.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, he goes. My hydrocard, man, that's just legit.
The hydrocard is like an employee that doesn't ask for a paycheck at the end of the week.
No, dude, it's literally an extra dude, man. That thing. There's a couple of jobs that if you guys seen them in person, that I do by myself. You're like, dude, what are you doing? But it's all like, it takes me a week to do by myself, but whatever, you know what I mean? I'm out there cleaning windows, and it's not killing me either. It's a nice system.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like a worker, some of these systems that come out now greatly resemble a Dyson vacuum cleaner. It looked like if a small wind came by, they'd probably blow apart, That's all good.
I mean, you could run multiple poles off it. It just lasts forever.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They're badass. They are.
Journey of an Entrepreneur says, I need more durable, pure water cart. My guys could break a fucking anvil.
Get a tank-based system or get a hydro cart.
Yep. Yeah. They're just, tank-based or hydro cart. You got to get something either you want get something tank-based where they're never moving it. It just stays like in one spot so they can't fuck it up, you know? Because I tell you what, in my day, I've busted some tools, you know what I mean? Just pure stupidity. I've left brand new circular saws in the bed of the truck and then woke up the next morning after like a night of thunderstorms and then like, oh, I don't know why the saw doesn't work, boss. Oh. Yeah. I definitely bought a new one of those. Like instantly, he's like, well, I'm not going to be mean. He goes, but if you don't go and get another saw, we're going to have a problem, you know? So worm drive saw too, so... Yeah.
BRB.
Good. Yeah. Sorry. I'll be back.
Yeah. You got it, guys. When you put employees...
I actually think I still have that saw out in the barn. Actually, not working. I just kept it.
Not working.
Yeah. Just as a reminder of my stupidity. Yeah. That's what happened to the hydro cart. That's why I had to call you guys and you guys did that pump that's awesome, because I don't think IPC makes I don't think you guys could find the pump that was on it, and you guys gave me a different one, and that's way better than the other one, but that's what I did. I left the hydro cart. I got super tired and lazy, and I was like, man, I'm just going to leave it in the back of the truck. I'll get it in the morning. Woke up, flash freeze overnight, everything swole up and popped on it. The brass just expanded and popped on that pump. I was just, ugh.
Yeah, the one downside of those things is like the pump. It's ridiculously expensive. That comes with it. The hose reel, it's obscenely expensive. And distributors don't have much control over that because IPC sets the prices, Yes.
Yeah.
So we know from 10 years of dealing with those things, I had 7 of those in my window cleaning business. We know how to repair and tear those things down every which way. So we can help people over the phone, do it on the cheap.
Mine's Frankenstein, do you know what I mean? And just because I've used it for so long, but I can tell you this. I know from what I've seen, I don't know if it's true or not, but the version of my hydrocard is being discontinued. They're not making
Which one you got?
The electric one.
Yeah, that's possible.
The 5-stage, the electric one, they're not going to make it no more. What am I going to do? But whatever, dude.
Maybe get the gas one. That's the boss.
No, listen. I see. There's a couple of places. One place I see another supplier. I'm not going to say that because I want to make you jealous. They're actually discontinuing and selling it like super cheap. So I'm thinking about biting the bullet and just buying it so I have a backup. You know what I mean? But I'm partial to that thing,
dude. You can always get the components for it. You can always change.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. It's not proprietary enough where you can't circumvent not getting a part for it, dude.
True.
Everything. The carbon and sediment are pretty much universal. The membranes you can get by dimension.
I guess my concern would be the pump and the motor. But I guess, are there still
obviously
shops around that rewire electric motors?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Are there still places like that in the world today?
Yeah,
where they'll rewind an electric motor to Harbor Freight? That's what my cousin Mike said. My cousin Mike, I was like, man, I want to get this Honda motor for my pressure washing skid. He's like, screw that. Go buy a $200 one at Harbor Freight. When it breaks, just throw it in the garbage and get another one. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, screw it. I'm like,
well, okay. Look, everything is coming out of China nowadays. So do you want to buy cheap China or you want to buy better China? You know what I'm saying? Like
there's a couple of masters of that. There's guys that do cheap China. They do cheap China cheaper.
Oh yeah, Crackerjack China stuff. Man. It's amazing. Can't believe it. Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
I always say, don't sell me something for hundreds that cost pennies. Sell me something for hundreds that cost 50s. Not pennies. I mean,
right.
But it's all good.
See you later, Lewis. Nice seeing you, buddy. I hope you. I hope you use that money in the right way. Hey, when's the outlaw trip? In August, maybe? Dude, I don't know, man. See, I got so much going on in my life right now, man. My life is busy. Jennifer wants to get married, and I want to marry Jen because we've only been together for like 700 years. You know what I mean? It's time to just get married. You know what I mean?
What's your holdup? What's holding you back from that?
Dude, Jennifer doesn't like to spend money, and I'm like a notorious, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? We've made plans and changed them, life happens, you know what I mean? And we've been dating since we were 15. I mean, if it works, it works, you know what I mean? But I really want her to, I want to marry her, you know what I mean? Come on.
Let me tell you how I did it.
All right, let's hear it.
Living with my girlfriend. Said, yo, you want to get married next week? And she said, yeah. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we just looked in the phone book, called the minister, and then we went to this place, this bridge, half a mile down the road from our house, and we invited our grandparents and our parents, and we just did it. 5 days. Cost $300. Biz bang boom, done.
And it was nice too, right? Did she get a dress or no?
Yeah, she got a dress, and we left there. We went to the bar, did a bunch of shots. We left the bar, went to the gas station, got ice cream sandwiches, and went home.
Some roller dogs.
Nice, dude. See, man, because it really it matters to her because she got to get the dress, and then it matters to the parents and the grandparents. You know what I mean? Because they want to see us off well. You know what I mean? That's what I would like to do. That's a good idea. I just didn't
want a whole production, I hate production. I don't want any of that
and I
stuff.
think that might be our thing, too, because it seems like every time we start to get it organized, something involved in it, whether it be a part of the wedding party or the venue, whatever it is, it's always something. You know what I mean? And that just sounds so easy. Just call them up, be like, listen, we're going to be here to get married. You better show up. You know what I mean? And then that's that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we're there, we do it, and then that's that, right? Mark's going to be mad, so is Tim, but Tim will have to do a 3-story job without a water pole, so he won't show up.
We're both showing up.
I'm crashing that.
Yeah, I'm crashing that.
Not if he does it quick. He might be married next week. Now he does my
right? You're going to be screwed.
I'll be calling up Aunt Tammy. She'll keep me informed.
Oh, yeah. Aunt Tammy's a riot, dude. Yeah, she said pretty much the same thing Chris just said. She's like, why don't you just, do this and just, whatever. She goes, just invite immediate family and go do it. She goes, and I'm immediate family. She was really stern about that part. But, that's a good idea, Chris. Thank you.
My dad was dating his girlfriend for 17 years. And he had previously stated he was never going to get married again. 3 months ago, he calls us up and says he's getting married. Can we do it at your house? I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. He just did the same thing. He came over here, got married in front of my fireplace. And it was a quick thing. Alex's best friend, Justin, went online and got his minister degree, minister certificate, so he could marry him. And it was just
officiate the wedding. That's cool, man.
It was fun.
That'd be awesome.
It sounds like the days of the big traditional $40,000 wedding are kind of grinding to a halt now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We spent $3,000 on ours and we broke even. With everything.
Yeah.
By the time everybody
just as long as she doesn't tie any burlap or put any sand in mason jars or any shit like that, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do no wedding decorations. That's what I dread. You know what I mean? Because we were gonna do a themed wedding. We were gonna do the Footloose prom. That's what we were gonna do for the wedding. And then just kind of like people are just like, ugh. You know what I mean? I'm just like, to me, it should just be. It's about us anyway. So what the hell does it matter? You know what I mean? Instead of trying to please everybody. Did you really?
Yeah. Married my sister.
I'll tell you what. You can marry me and Jennifer, but you gotta dress up as Bon Jovi.
No, I'm dressing up as Bob.
No, you ain't. No, Jen's not going for that, dude. She's not going for that. What we'll have to do is.
Would your woman let you like make an episode out of it? Could you live stream the wedding?
No way.
On Wednesday night? No, she wouldn't be down.
She would not be down with that at all, dude.
Podcast.
You guys keep saying her name. She's gonna come in the comments and blow me up, dude, and make me look like a total douche in front of everybody.
What does she think of your podcast operation here?
She's supportive. Jennifer is a supportive person. Whatever pursuit I have in life, Jennifer has supported me the whole way. You know what I mean? She's just like, she loves me, so she wants other people to like me, of course. You know what I mean? So, and she's always the one in the background saying, dude, this guy's a douchebag. You know what I mean? And usually she's always right about that dude being a douchebag. You know what I mean? She's called to quite a few of them. Yeah. In my life.
Women are smarter than us, man. They know. They can identify that shit.
Yep, straight away. I mean, there's an infamous person that the first time she ever seen him talk and video chat, she said immediately, she's like, there's something up with that dude. So she's usually always right, man. She's super supportive. And I'm a total handful. When I was younger, I was a hot mess. You could get me. I was the typical get him dressed up but can't take him anywhere. You know what I mean? I was always in trouble. I could find trouble. No, we could go to Walmart and there'd be trouble. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
This is my man. I'm so surprised look.
Whatever, dude. Hey, if my grandma is crossing in the crosswalk and you roll up on her too quick, I'm not, I'm going to say something to you. You know what I mean? That's just me. Have some respect. You know what I mean? My grandma was the type of lady that if the kid was at the checkout line and the mom, he grabbed some candy and the mom would take it away from him and put it back and scold him, my grandma handed him $5. You better buy that baby some candy. Especially if there was beer in the cart or something like that. She wasn't playing no games. My grandma was something else. So she got me quite a few times. People are mean to your grandma, and then you gotta say something to them. You gotta be nasty back. Same way with Jen. If you're mean to Jen, I can't help it. I just that's why I don't go out anymore. I don't do anything. And she's like, you know what? Maybe a podcast is a good idea. Then we can I know where you're at. You're in that room over there. You're not going to get in trouble.
That's what she thinks.
And the world will then know about your madness. It won't just be me.
Yeah, it won't just be me. Yeah. Put the dummy on display. Watch the chicken dance on the hot plate. So does anyone in the audience, I'm going to open it up here for a second. We're about an hour 20 in, and I don't know how much longer we're going to go here because Chris is a busy man and gets up super early. But does anyone have any questions for Chris? We'll open up. Are you okay with that, Chris? Maybe answering a couple of questions?
I got no agenda. I got all the time in the world. It's
right.
Cool.
So,
I will take the segue, though, to take a quick bathroom break.
All right. Well, while Chris is using the bathroom, you guys think real hard about some questions that you would like to ask. Jennifer's going to torch me when I get off of this, dude. I am so done, dude. You guys have no idea. Just think of me, my person.
Okay.
Right, you're fine. Just think about me and my personality, and you guys watch this podcast, watch my videos. Just imagine how legit the person is that has to deal with this for 22 or 22 years. Just think of that person.
Dude, women are
you guys
saints.
should all
Really
guys should all friend her on Facebook and each send her $1 for being T Squeegee's better half. She's a saint for sure, dude. I was a piece of work. I was a piece of work when I was younger. Mark, I don't know, people can't really tell, but if you guys ever meet Mark in person, Mark has the craziest eye. Were you a wild man when you were younger? Because you look like you were a wild man.
Yeah, I've settled down a lot. My wife has got me under control.
Right,
I'll get ragged on for saying that. But we work well together because she gives me direction. But she knows wherever we go, there's going to be some kind of entertainment because I find shit that, you know what I'm saying? So we always laugh. I mean, when my father-in-law said to when my wife, you know, she comes from a very traditional family, and I said, this is kind of uncomfortable. Your dad is a military man, and so I have to ask. I had already asked her to marry me, and then I asked my wife, I said, do I have to go to your dad and say, can I have your daughter's hand? And she goes, no, he's not that traditional. It'll be cool. So when she called them to say that we were getting married, his first question was, is this the right one? And what's the first thing that comes to mind why you want to marry this man? And she says, 'cause he makes me laugh. That was it. Makes me laugh, you know. I mean, and we work well together. She keeps me reined in, and she's, you know, a lot of the backbone behind my business, you know, that you know, keeps me on a tight rein when it comes to spending and everything, because I'll go nuts. You know how it is.
Yono Woohoo asks, when does the Zero version 1.1 come out? Is that?
yeah. Are we going to be making 1.1s, 1.2s?
Yeah, is it Zero Gold 1.1? Is that happening or no?
No, we did it right the first time.
There you go.
Great answer. Carl Robinson asks, is it true that Chris has every water-fed pole ever made?
Basically.
Wow. So
I buy every pole I can get my hands on.
This just deep cuts here, a little personal thing. Hopefully, you know, Chris is okay with this, but Chris kind of explained to me that him and Alex, you guys have like a window cleaning type of like museum almost. Like you guys like have like one of everything. Am I correct?
Yeah, totally.
That's cool.
We literally have one of everything. I have all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
So you just cuz or what?
I don't know. I think window cleaning stuff's cool. I just like it. So
I dig that.
It's cool, you know? Like I got all sorts of products that haven't made it to market. I have products that no one's seen in 20 years. Like I just have all sorts of stuff. The only thing I really parted with is this set of wooden stacks that I had. I gave away to somebody because they just kept taking up too much space. I have every issue ever of American Window Cleaner magazine. I got a gold-plated Pulex squeegee. I got a bunch of those Unger carbon fiber things. I got a bunch of products that were discontinued like 15 years ago. Like, just a repository.
Do you remember, and I believe it was Unger made a scraper prior to the Triumph line of scrapers that was made out of like, almost looked like sheet metal. It weighed like 12 pounds. I went to the very first IWCA convention in 1986. It was in North Miami somewhere. I remember going with my dad, and they handed this scraper around for everybody to look at. And me, even having zero experience at that time, said, who came up with this idea? This thing weighs like 12 pounds, and it's dangerous. That thing wasn't around very long either.
No. I mean, Unger had a Ninja channel even before the Ninja channel, too. They had like this weird like thing. It almost looked like not quite like a Sorbo channel, but it was like, I don't know how to explain it. But they've had Unger has had a lot of weird products that came in and out over the years.
What's the new product they're promoting right now?
Unger? The new product Unger is promoting right now is they took their Ergotech squeegee that's been around for 15 years and put a piece of rubber on the back plate of the quick release.
Yeah. That's the new product.
And, and they came out with a little like a rubber guard for the bob.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me ask you another one, Chris. You got any wind sprays laying around?
Love the wind spray. I have one wind spray left. Yeah. It's still in the bag, it's still got the hose, and it's still got the angle adapter. That wind spray thing was what got me into WaterFed, because I was like, oh man, I could buy this for like $100, and I was rigging up all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
I was making gutter whitening poles, all sorts of stuff.
I broke 2 of those on the joint. They break at the neck where the thumb screw is, where the wing nut is. But I always thought that was a brilliant brilliant tool, and I was very, you know, I wish they didn't go out of business, or I wish someone else would make one, because
I have one.
They're awesome.
They're in a little. It comes in a little black bag.
Yeah, a zipper bag, right?
Yep,
A round
I got
zipper bag, if I remember.
I got a zipper bag for it, and the hose. It's in the barn.
Yeah, dude, those are badass.
I think Manny, Windows 101, like actually might still have one of those. I saw those on his site like not too long ago.
Really? I think you guys were selling the brush holders, which I never figured out why you wanted to walk around with a brush on your belt. But the brush, I have brush holders, I have the hoses, I have but that, the gray gooseneck, that's the hard part. That's the part that always broke on it. But that was a great entry level thing when you were. I was starting my company, and I'm like, look, I could buy this for, I don't know, was it $100 back then? Yeah. And you stick it on any pole and have a water-fed pole. Right. Granted, it wasn't carbon fiber pole, it wasn't anything special, but it got you to those windows you needed to get, and it always
copied that shit. Good. They copied that shit off of Phil.
Yeah.
Copied that shit.
Phil. It was before Phil.
Whatever, man. Phil was out there with fishing poles. You guys just didn't know it.
It was around with Noah.
Time traveling.
Philip cleaned the windows on Jesus's house, so I ain't even trying to hear that.
Right.
If you guys didn't know, he's been around.
Remember that time Phil came on the podcast, and in the beginning of the podcast, he had 50 years experience, and then towards the end of the podcast, he was claiming he was 50 years old.
Oh, he's got to be like 68, right?
Yeah, he's up there.
No, he's got. I think he's got to be pushing 70. That guy.
65, 70. Yeah, he's in
between. Had that hard episode, and then had another hard episode, and still out there doing it. Phil is a trip, man. That dude's a trip, man.
Man, back in the fall, Phil was in town because where our warehouse and offices is in Warwick, New York. And that's where the main headquarters for the Jehovah's Witnesses are. And they all just come there to visit and stuff like that. And Phil's wife just dropped him off at the warehouse. She's like, all right, I'm going to pick you up in a couple hours. And Alex was not sick that day. And it was really busy. And it was just me and Phil and the office people. And I'm trying to keep Phil entertained all day. And he's just touching everying water-fit poles and inspecting things and taking pictures of stuff.
Had his micrometer out. Did anything fall on the ground? Did his phone or anything in the warehouse fall on the ground? Because he's notorious for dropping things. He sent me a video the other day. He was cleaning a window and had the phone in one hand and this long water-fed pole in the other, and he's trying to show me this. Philip is a national treasure, man. He honestly is. I know he's eccentric. I know he rubs people the wrong way, but the dude, if you get to know the dude, he's a trip, man. He's a funny guy.
The funniest
what would you do? You got to have a little Phil around. You know what I mean? You got to have an Uncle Phil around somewhere. You know what I mean?
Phil.
The funniest video I ever saw was the Sim Vac, where he's trying to water-fed pull the windows of the van. He's like, look at this, it's sucking up the water and it's pouring all down the front of it.
So when Phil first came out, he sort of became known for his crazy videos of just totally unfocused.
Yes.
And he's got this one video, it's still on YouTube. I checked it out semi-recently, where he's doing all this stuff and he's got this big gasoline thing running in the background and it's really loud. And he's doing all this stuff and it's shaking, and he drops his camera into the bucket of water, his bucket, and you could see him coming to get it. And the video just ends.
You're lying. Are you serious? I gotta have it. I need to add that to my collection. That's so good. Philip is, like I said, he's funnier than shit, man. Some of the videos that he sends me while working, I'm just like, Philip, man, how do you do it, man? How do you keep it? How do you do it, man? It's always it's from one thing to the next, and he's talking in this language that I don't understand. You know what I mean? With the diameters and wall thicknesses of poles and all. It's just Philip, I don't know, bro. Is it cool or ain't it cool? I just need to know if it's stiff or not. Is it light and stiff? Does it work good?
Right.
Yeah. He's constantly talking about MSI and wall thickness.
Yeah.
And he's always going on about how Perry copied his clamps, and Perry never copied his clamps. But the one thing that Phil invented that he never claims anybody copied is he's the one that invented the idea of modular scopic. He's the first one that came out with an XT section. He had the first idea for a master pole like Enlight has, and then you have that other pole, and they can just almost infinitely go into each other. Yeah. And he never says a word about that. He invented that.
I gotta tell you something. Yeah, that
my poo.
Now you just started.
You're talking. Yeah,
What did I just start? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That pull you're
Never
talking
gonna
about. That's my stairway to heaven.
Dude is such a trip,
Phil's
man.
gonna go around. I created a water-fed pool now.
Yeah. That's his thing, man. You can't knock him. I mean, that's like his passion, man. I mean, he's passionate as shit about it. Super
like
passionate. He just, it's a fever pitch. That's all. You know what I mean?
The one thing I'll say about this is I pretty much would I believe it's safe to say whatever he says is true versus someone selling something that's full of shit. Meaning if you cut his pole open to find out what's inside of it, because that's what he says you have to do, what he says is in it versus someone selling you something that could potentially be high modulus or 3K or whatever else that most of us don't even care enough about to research what that actually is.
Right.
We have no idea what we're looking at. I would trust him 100% at his word.
Yeah, that's true.
Carl Robinson said Phil's the only guy with a pocket hammer. Mark does a spot-on impression of Phil. Mark does a spot-on impression of a lot of people. You guys just aren't aware. Wait till Sunday night.
Monday I might have splits for my cheeks. They're gonna hurt so bad, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, I can't wait to have him on. That's gonna be a hoot.
Do you think Ron's gonna show?
I don't know.
I don't know. It all depends on the tequila, man. For real. Okay. Our body. Open pole surgery.
Fiber. I got to make sure the fiber's working.
Yeah, he's full of piss and vinegar, man. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
When I talked to him about it, he hit me up. He's like, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be gnarly, dude. This is gonna be so gnarly, dude.
Good thing is it's not window cleaners. It's gonna be all power washers.
Yeah, well, and he's pushing it around. He's telling everybody. So I expect there to be. He goes, anybody that comes up against me live gets torched, and I'm like, all right, cool, bro. He goes, I bury them all. Yeah. He's gonna have a hard time with us.
This podcast, you met your match, my friend.
Yeah, because T Squeegee will go hard body karate. Nobody interrupts better than me. I won't have it. Yeah, stop it, Ron. So nobody has any questions, man. That was it, man. That was just the. That was the end of Where's Phil? I don't know where Phil's at. When's Mark Darnell coming back on? I don't know. We gotta save our Mark Darnells up.
Pull ads in the group. That's what Phil is.
Yeah, that's what Phil is posting ads and answering. Yeah. He's like replying to comments, dude. That's what he's doing.
That's where Phil's at.
I still want to see a shot.
He was like the most compelling guest. I was just like, what is this guy up to?
Dude, he is next. Dude. Did anyone catch the bathtub video?
Yeah.
He just posted a screenshot of it in the comments on one of the posts, and I'm just like, dude, that dude is next level. I love that dude. I love the fact that when we have him on the podcast, he only shows his forehead. It's like the best thing ever, dude. And I mean, for a short time, we were like trying to get him on, just like we were trying to get Ben Hanks on. I tried. I even followed Ben on what you want to call it, on Instagram, so I could like try to, because he left Facebook. So he went to Instagram, and I was messaging, kept trying to get him on the show, but he wouldn't come. You know what I mean? And now we've got Mark Darnell, which is actually entertaining and not a douche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mark Darnell is welcome anytime. That guy's
hilarious.
Mark
Darnell is a gem. Don't ever change, Pony
Boy.
Boy.
At Little Caesars at 9 o'clock at night with his kids in the car cleaning windows.
Well, yeah, dude. And honestly, whoever his lady, she seems to get. She's usually the one. Like if you watch his videos, she's the one that's shooting the video, and she's busting up, fucking laughing the whole time. You could hear her in the background giggling. She's the one holding the phone, like when he did the jogging on a treadmill with the plastic bag over his head, dude. She's like dying in the background, dude. That must be Mark's Jennifer. You know what I mean? I call Jennifer my Billy. Yeah,
like like that.
Yes. Window cleaners
so
unite. That dude is so funny, man. So good.
Yeah, he's definitely someone I would hang out with for a day.
Yeah, I'm sure
follow
you
him
get to
around.
see a lot of dudes like that, though, don't you? That people are just not aware of, right, Chris? I mean, you're selling window cleaning tools to a bunch of crazies. Is it tough?
The thing is, there's virtually no barriers or entry to the window cleaning business. So you get a lot of people. You get people like that are just like super religious, and they get into it because they have free time to do, their religious stuff, which is cool. It's a huge segment of them.
Right.
And then you have people that get into it because they can make a lot of money, but then you also have the people that get into it because they don't really have that many other options in life. And that's just kind of what they're doing. And with that, you get some interesting characters.
Right. There are quite a few of them
and
out there.
with that, what other business can you start for less than $500? Think about it.
True.
Right. Less than 500, you get a bucket behind any Walmart. A couple bucks for a squeegee, a pole, and a mop, some dish soap. You're in business at that point. It's there's very little investment. I mean, I
started with $90.
Yeah.
$90.
Yeah.
Someone's
got a question here.
I started with a hope and a prayer.
Ryan Heisler, got my first car dealership sit down with the general managers. Any tips?
Home slices.
I'll tell you what I think. Listen to what he has to say. Don't sell yourself. Ask him what his needs are, what he believes would be sufficient, and then add in, well, we can do this. We'll design a program based on your needs and go from there. But if you go in there and run your yap that you need to do this every week and that every week, and then hit him with a bill, he's going to cost. Car dealerships, where I am, they're cheap. They're cheap.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s when things crashed, I had car dealerships that were going weekly. Now they go quarterly or once a month. Right. For the same, they're like, well, we're just going to save some money. And they realized
I used to have several car lots, and I only have one now. Ford dealership, of course. I mean, you guys can read into that if you like, but it's a Ford dealership. The Chevy dealerships bailed on me. Ford stuck around, you know what I'm saying? Because, Ford's better. So, they're not poor like Chevy. You know what I'm saying?
I never had many car dealerships. Our bread and butter was always just like $20 mom and pop stops. And because those accounts did not drop you. And there's a pretty old school environment around here. And it's just like a lot of little old shops that weren't destroyed by Walmart yet and stuff like that. And they had massive loyalty. They weren't chains. They weren't car dealerships that were, had to constantly drive down the bottom line. They were mom and pops that the window cleaners that went in had relationships with. Yeah. That's where it's at for me with route work. I love route.
Right.
I'm the same way with most of my storefront, like route work is all I've had it since I inherited it with the company. We've had it since 2004. A lot of this stuff, I just came with the business, and they know who I am. They know where I live. Like, what's up, TJ? How you doing? You know what I mean? And we, what I'm saying? It's, and they refer me to the new guy next door when a new guy moves into the office. Like, oh, we got a guy. This is how much. And usually they have a check taped to the door on the day I'm supposed to be there. They just, boom, done. I don't even have to see him, Yeah. It's the best. Wherever your small town is, you get that little area, right, Tim? That's what Tim does.
Gotta do it.
That's what I do.
Yeah. You gotta own your area. You gotta own. I do residential now, so
right.
You go in and just talk up the old ladies. That's all you do now.
Yeah.
Chit chat with the old guys.
Window cleaning. Acme Window Cleaning Company in San Diego says storefronts rule. I don't even know who that dude is. Chris, are you still doing route work? Come on, Jason. That's a dumb question.
Sold all my routes. They're all gone.
Sold them. All of them are gone. Jason, you know that Chris doesn't have time for that. He's got squeegees to sell, dude.
He's got checks to write to us, man. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Oh. Duh. He's too busy micromanaging our lives to be doing storefronts, dude.
I pay you guys in Bitcoin anyway, not checks.
Yeah. So, is there anything else either one of you fellas would like to ask Mr. Chris here, Mr. Chris Lambrinides? Do I say that right?
Lambrinides. Basically, you're saying it right. Yeah.
I'm basic. He's like essentially.
Basically.
When I used to refer to you as Lamborghinis because I couldn't pronounce, because I didn't know how to pronounce your name until. Yeah.
That's just what everybody does, so like doesn't
right.
I mean, I'm gonna bash you by calling you like the most expensive car in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be
that old Chris Lambrinides.
well, yeah, better than calling Chris Hyundai.
Right.
Yeah.
That old Chris,
At least it's a cool car.
Yeah, at least it's a cool car. Do you have a Lamborghini?
I have two.
Sweet, dude. What color?
Man, I drive an old Toyota pickup truck that's been paid off for 7 years.
Fucking
I have
love it.
this thing going with Alex where I'm telling him I'm never, ever, ever going to drive anything else. And I'm determined to drive this truck for the rest of my life.
No kidding.
I barely believe in oil changes or maintenance or any of that shit.
Dude, you're just like my grandpa. My grandpa bought a van, and he drove that fucker, and it was held together with spray foam and duct tape. I was like, she's like, you can afford a new car. He's like, there's nothing wrong with that one. And he would just, like I told the guys, he would get underneath the van, stick a screwdriver in the oil filter, spin it off, and whatever fell out while he was screwing it back on, he would add to it. He would never change. That's how he changed the oil. Once or twice a year, he would do that.
The thought of a payment's what keeps me from buying a truck. That's
right. Yeah,
I don't want to be able to afford a payment because
I've had this for 11 years and it's only got 65,000 miles on it. I drove 4,000 miles last year. I don't even drive. I hate it. I just all I do is I go from here to work, and back.
Right.
Yeah, you'll have that thing forever.
Yeah.
That should be in a Toyota.
Well, there's a bunch of guys out there. There's a guy that lives down the street here from you, an old dude. That dude's been driving he's been driving the same Ford F-100 pickup truck, 70. I think it's like a 78 or a 79. As long as I can remember, he still puts it up to the store and back to get a 12-pack.
Yeah.
When I was riding a big wheel, he was driving that truck up there. You know what I mean? And now I'm out there unloading the truck, and here he
Same truck.
Same truck.
That's
all these years, man. As long as as long as I can remember. He used to work with my grandpa. Yeah, what's up?
Get a picture of it and see if he wants to sell it, because that's my favorite.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah, 73 to 79.
It's olive green. It's olive green. It's two-wheel drive. It's really shiny. It's got the toolbox in the bed right there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yep.
Does he keep it in the garage?
Yep. It goes right in the garage and right out of the garage. Yeah. It's got white wall tires and hubcaps on it.
Yeah,
you gotta get a picture of that.
I will. One of these days.
Speaking of garages, Mark, when this podcast started, you always used to be in the garage. Now you're in the house. What happened?
Yeah, well, what happened was my wife allowed me to come back inside. I was thrown out living in the shop. No, actually, it was just easier. I was just doing it on my phone, and then I graduated into a laptop. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the freeze frame, and with my kids online, and we don't have enough signal out here. It's just, and I was like, how's the family going to react to me disappearing for 2 hours twice a week? Are they going to beat on the walls? Are they going to, because my kids are like me. They're freaking retarded, and they do stupid shit, But no, everybody's like, Dad's got his call. They call it his call, so, much more comfortable inside here. But
it's the same way with my kids and Jennifer. I mean, 90% of the time you can hear Jennifer and the two girls listening to every fucking song that was ever invented in the background. That's all they do is sit around and listen to music all the time.
Yeah.
Huge audio files. Singing, dancing. It's just out of control here. It's out of control.
Yeah.
Once the weather breaks, I'm moving to the garage. I want to set up
You're moving to the garage. You're done.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
I'm not doing this shit no more in this office.
You're right.
I'm so deep in the woods here. We just have bad internet. So for me to do one of these things, I have to run around and disconnect everything from the Wi-Fi. Everyone turn your phones off. Turn the Wi-Fi. Don't do anything. Be quiet.
Listen, what's funny about that is I used to have to do that when we first started doing this. I made everyone in the house jump off the Wi-Fi because I would have to hook. I had no way to run an Ethernet cable into here. You know what I mean? It took me a while to figure out this devious plan to get this done. But man, there's two people that you can't do a podcast with. That's Richie Blue and Joshua Schoaf. It's impossible to do a podcast with them because they either can't hear you can't hear them. Like Josh can barely stay online. He can barely stay on. I don't understand how you can live in Akron and not have fucking internet, man. And Richie lives in California, of all places, and has no internet.
He's got the worst internet in the world.
Oh, it's the worst.
He can't even have a cell phone. Yeah. And he loves the video call.
You can't have it.
Yeah, and he's freeze framing. Yeah. Oh my God.
Max headroom.
Well, I think Richie's problem with him always going out is like he needs to turn off his cellular signal and just hop on his Wi-Fi. And I think like where he sits out in the balcony, I think it's like pinging both. I keep meaning to tell him that.
Yeah,
wow, there's a tip for Richie Blue. I keep telling him that he's got a Chinese spy network on his phone, but
also totally possible.
TJ would shit on us so bad about our internet that I had to have my whole house rewired by Spectrum.
Yeah. The squirrel internet, the meth shack.
They did my whole house up in my attic and all the way underground, all the way out to the pole.
I roasted him so bad. I did roast you pretty bad, didn't I? Yeah. I always called it live from the meth shack. Tim Huber. Chris,
and
this has been
cooking meth, and he was
I was done. I was done doing it. I wasn't doing it anymore. Chris, I want to tell you, man, we really appreciate you coming on here, man, and sharing with us. And we would just, this is actually, there's a few people that we've been really, really wanting to get on here, and you are one of those people that we were like, man, we had a wish list. You were the top, two? You got Ron Musgraves and Chris Lambrinides, man.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I hope I didn't disappoint.
No, dude, you were awesome,
it was a lot
man.
of fun.
Thank you so much. Very cool, very open. Where do you go to buy stuff from you? I mean, I don't even know what it was. Where's the website? What's that called again? I can't remember. It's hard.
So, what's the change?
Windowcleaner.com, the best.
It's
in window cleaning.
You can see why you can.
If I have that URL, how good is that URL?
Right?
You just got that, right? You just got that.
Man, I picked that up like 3 or 4 years ago. I was trying to get that for 10 years. When I originally started trying to buy it, the dude wanted $100,000 for it, and I was like, obviously not going to buy that. And then finally, I whittled them down after a lot of years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I mean, dude, I was being facetious there. I mean, that's like the most ridiculous name. I mean, come on, windowcleaner.com. I mean, come on, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's all a conspiracy. Now I believe in conspiracies. Mark, were you getting ready to say something, buddy?
No. I just wanted to thank Chris for coming on, and I'm going to send you an order for a couple of those trad poles, and
cool.
And it's a pleasure talking to you. And it's always, we like to talk to people that you've been on both sides of the coin, so that's a huge benefit, to hear your experiences, and congratulations on the success. Keep it going, man.
Thanks, man. I love window cleaning. I'm in it for life. So thanks for having me.
You know what? After this discussion, kind of talking to you a little bit, I think that kind of reveals that you're a man's man and a window cleaner. You know what I mean? You're not just some suit with a water-fed bowl brush in his hand. You know what I mean? We can respect
I'm
that.
only putting a suit on for funerals and some weddings.
All right.
Hey, so I got one more. We see the buzz. I want to know more about the huge convention, and I want you to promote it.
Yes, let's hear about that before you go.
Because I think that we could do an outlaw road trip to the huge convention, and we need to know more about it.
Yeah, sure. So the huge convention, we only call it the huge convention because when we were looking for a domain name on a goof, I put that in, and I said, oh my God, can you believe this is available? Should we buy this? Is it too pretentious to call it the huge convention? Because it's really actually very small. So we bought it
right
for $10, and like, it's the huge convention. And the first year we had it, like 120 people came, and it wasn't so huge, so it was super embarrassing. Just worked on making it bigger. And last year we had about 1,250 window cleaners there, about 250 vendors. And my partner Thad and I, who wants to come on the show badly, by the way, he's a big fan.
Does he really? Whenever, wherever. I can tell you what, right now, I had no idea who that man was. And I had no idea. And this dude, like, I see him all the time in comments. He's always making me laugh. I'm like, and then I find he's the huge convention guy. I'm like, what? For real? Yeah. That's cool, man. Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Yeah, Thad. He's like the funniest guy. He lives an interesting life. And he used to do this event called the NOLA networking event down in New Orleans that he invited me down to like 7 or 8 years ago. And it was just like this really cool, fun, small scale event in New Orleans. So it was like you could learn a little bit and then just go party. And we said, let's do this just on a bigger scale. And we started it, and our whole thing with it is it's mainly all just focused on like business building. We don't have hose rolling contests. There's no how to clean this, how to clean that. There's not a bunch of live demos. It's not about tools. It's not about techniques. It's just all stuff that window cleaners can use to grow their businesses. And, we have a keynote topic, speech, and then it breaks out into a bunch of classes.
Maybe me and Jen can just get married at the huge convention, dude, right?
Yes.
It'll be huge, man. It'll be
people must.
I'm telling you, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
Proper branding is to, when you spell it out, is to capitalize HUGE, just so you know if you're showing that out.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
and when is
it's a business building conference. Yeah.
And when is the next one? And where?
It's in Branson, and man, it's
oh my goodness,
Chris. It's on my wife's birthday.
Oh my goodness, Chris.
She's always pissed off because she's got to go to it, and it's her birthday. It's August 7th and 8th, I think. I could pull it up, but it's right there. Just Google window cleaner pressure washing convention. We come up first, second, and third.
There you go. Well, Chris, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
How long? 2 days?
The event is 2 days, but people come in for anywhere from between 5 and 2 days. People get there early and just hang out, and so the essential theme of it is you have three things: you have classes, you have a huge trade show, and then you have just networking, just talking with 1,000 other people that do the same thing for a living as you do. And I think that's the coolest, just like talking to all these dudes, because you just can't do that in real life. You know what I mean? You could have pretty awesome conversations.
I think that's what when we all got together last October, that was the best part of it for me, was getting to hang out with other window cleaners and just shoot the shit. We could identify, there's some things I gleaned off of Mark and Jason, and they gleaned off of me. It was a good time. We had a really good time by ourselves. But the rest of it
that's
sucked.
the best part, man. Like, you talk to a bunch of dudes online all the time, and it's just so nice to put a face to it. And people are like, "Oh, hey, tasty crouton." I know it's for me, but not his real name.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So, Mark, before I try to end the show and you ask another fucking question, is there another question you need to ask?
No, I think we're cool.
Well, Chris, we really, really appreciate you coming on the show. You and Alex are always welcome anytime you guys want to sell your wares or talk about UFOs and Bigfoot or the Jersey Devil or, whatever. You know what I mean? We thank you, sir.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on. I had a good time.
And we will be back Sunday, supposedly, with Ron Musgraves. I don't know. We'll see. Ron Musgraves at our regular time. But we'll see you guys later, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Chris. WindowCleaner.com, guys. WindowCleaner.com. Yep. We'll see you. Peace.
Hey, guys. It's the real Ron Musgraves here, not the short imposter. Enjoy the episode of Outlaw Window Cleaning Radio. And remember, install that fiber.